everybody, this is Noelle from Belgium. I'm in Toronto with Elaine. Nice to meet you, Elaine.
Thank you.
Can you introduce yourself?
My name's Elaine Neely. I'm work in biochemistry and in a medical laboratory, and I have two sons, and my younger son is autistic.
Can you tell us more about your son who has autism?
His name is Aiden, and he's 16 years old now. I knew from the time he was very young, just a baby, that he was autistic, but I didn't really have him diagnosed till he was a little older. I did a lot of work with him when he was young. I kept him up to speed on a lot of things, and then by the time he was about 11 or 12, I started to realize I really needed some other help.
Mm-hmm. And how did you learn about the diagnosis or the autism of your child?
I learned when he was very young. I started doing a lot of research on autism because I could see he was different. And I actually did one of those little checklists that you can find on the internet, and found he was very, very autistic actually. And I didn't officially have him diagnosed. I didn't want to necessarily do that because there wasn't a lot of help for children at that time. And then they officially diagnosed him when he was about 13.
This is really late.
Yes, late.
Yeah. Can you talk about the potential of your kid?
Aiden is the most amazing kid. His smile can light up the room, and he has the ability to make people absolutely fall in love with him in an instant. He draws amazingly. He's smart. He is so independent. His geographical skills are amazing. He could get anywhere in the world. Is using public transit. He can drive. He's scuba certified. He has so many great things going for him. He could do anything really that he set his mind to. The problem is getting him to set his mind to it. The problem is he doesn't have the motivation.
And you talked to me about your difficulty about having services. Can you talk about this?
It was extremely hard to get services once I tried to get help for him. I met so many brick walls. The system in Canada is like the spokes of a wagon wheel. You have a lot of different services around on a big wheel, a big imaginary wheel. And the problem is there's no central hub to link all those services together. So you end up bouncing from one service and finding out they don't want to help you or they can't help you because of their mandates. And you end up doing all this research and finding another service which maybe can give you a little help, but then you're at another one who can't give you help, and this one, and it just, they all sort of say, well, you need to contact this one, and then that one says, no, you need to contact this one, and then, no, they were supposed to help you, and you get bounced back and forth like a ping pong ball, and it's very confusing.
Yeah, can imagine. And difficult.
And difficult. And you don't have time for this when you have a child who's already very difficult. You don't have time to be on the phone for 2 hours and 3 hours and running out to meetings, and some of them would say, oh, you need to come in right now in an hour, and you just can't do that with a child with problems.
Then you decided to homeschool him?
I decided to homeschool right from the time the kids were very, very little, and it actually wasn't to do with the autism, but I think it was really beneficial because I could really zone in on his specific needs and really work with those things.
Yeah. But you have a talent to teach also. You have a family or a teacher.
But the most important talent you need to be a successful homeschooler is that you need to love your child, and you need to care about what they learn. The things they teach you in teaching school for teachers' education is really about crowd control, about understanding how to deal with discipline issues, to deal with different teaching methods for different types of children. But when you know your child, they're like you.
Mm-hmm.
They often learn in similar ways to you, or similar ways to your husband, or similar ways to other family members, and you're with them 24 hours a day, and you care about them so much that you really start to learn how they learn and how to teach them. You don't need any education at all, and you don't need to be a great teacher. Children are naturally like little sponges, and they want to learn.
Or you don't need a PhD.
You do not need, not even a BA or an MA.
No.
Nothing.
Then you send Aiden to a group home?
Yes, in the end, with all the difficulties and the troubles, and he also has OCD, it just became too difficult to have him at home, and quite frankly too dangerous. He was being very, very challenging. He was now 6 feet tall. He was not a little child anymore. And it was getting to the point where if you tried to get him to do something he didn't want to do, and one of his big ones was having a shower or bathing in any way, it was a huge struggle and could lead to violence. And that was where we just couldn't have things ending in violence. That was not an option. And he just needed, one of the things that works with Aiden is when he knows that there is no way to get out of something, that it is going to happen. When he accepts in his mind that something is going to happen, it's like he just becomes fine. He will fight and fight and fight, but once he knows it's going to happen, he flips and he's okay with it. So with the bathing or the showering, for instance, there's just me and my husband. He knows he can kind of fight that, but then in the group home, there's 6 of them, and they can take turns, and they have all night. They don't have anywhere else to be. They don't have another child to deal with. They don't have dinner to cook. They don't have a job to go to. That is their job. And when they're done their shift, the next person is going to sit down on that chair and take over for them. So he became a lot more, okay, sure, I'll do it now.
And have you a global message to other parents?
Just that you are the only one that truly knows your child. You have a PhD in your child. You know your child's behaviors. You love your child so much. And there's nobody on this earth that can tell you what is the right thing to do with your child. You need to follow your instincts. You need to follow your heart. And if you think it's right, you need to do it, and you need to trust yourself.
Thank you. So thank you, Elaine. It was great to have you and to share this with us. Thank you, everybody, and I see you to the next time.